Growing up, it can be very challenging to learn how to use your body in sports and different activities. For those of you who have played sports growing up or are still in sports, then you know that sometimes certain movements can be challenging. As a former player and now current coach, I know that when I tell my athletes a certain movement that that's how they're supposed to do it, they struggle, specifically with catching a football. I played wide receiver as a player in high school, and now I coach wide receivers, so I teach them this on the daily. I emphasize to them a phrase that I use called the little things. Some of you may have heard of them, but if you haven't, a little thing can be a misstep in a dance performance where, one person stepped to the left when they're supposed to step to the right, and the whole routine is now off. One minor miscue caused the whole routine to go off. That's a little thing, right? The important thing is to master these little things. So when we go to catch a football, there's three important little things that we need to focus on. The first one are your eyes. The second one, your hands. And there's actually two parts to your hands. You have the shape of your hands and your hand placement, and then the type of hands that you have. Now I'll get into those. But let's start with our eyes. Your eyes need to be the first thing focused on the ball. Okay. From the time the ball is snapped to the time the ball is thrown to you, when that ball is in the air, your eyes are glued to it. You do not move. Nothing else matters. Everything is blocked out. You are locked in on that ball, watching that spiral come at you. So let me give you an example. If you stood 10 yards away and I took this football and I gunned it at your head, it's going to hit you in the face, right? Because your eyes are closed. You can't see it. 9 times out of 10, this ball is going to hit you in the face. So we have to see the football. A quote from an article called Mental Discipline and the Wide Receiver Position by Brown B. in 2000 reads, wide receivers must know their assignments, have good hands and speed, and most important, have the mental discipline to block out everything and concentrate on the football. Yeah, that's right. Because when the ball is thrown, if we can't block out everything in our heads and use our eyes to focus on the football, we will not catch the ball. It's that simple. The second point, the second little thing, your hand placement and shape. Now, this one's going to be a little difficult for me to show you, but if you were to take your hands and you take your pointer finger and your thumb and you put them together, if you look at it from your point of view, it almost makes a little spade formation. Okay, some of you might have heard this called the diamond. I've recently learned to call it the spade. Okay, but why? Well, the spade makes the shape of the football, basically. If I throw the football at you and you try and hold your hands like this, sideways, out wide, the ball, you might catch it like this, but the ball most likely will just go through. So we need to close it. So we take our pointer finger and our thumbs and we make our spade. Now the ball, when it's thrown to us, I can now hold the ball in any way that I want using only the 4 fingers, right? All 6 of them are not touching the ball. But I'm using my spade that I made with my hands to catch it. Now, the third and final thing, and might be, well, first actually let me use an example. For those of you who don't know the professional football player Odell Beckham Jr., who happens to be my favorite player, is best friends with Jarvis Landry. And a quote reads, Beckham was naturally gifted, but he credits Landry with teaching him how to work. Well, what I tell my athletes a lot is that these little things, they take time and practice. We need to go out there every day and catch 1,000 footballs practicing our spade and our eyes. This is what Beckham and Jarvis Landry did. They went out there and they threw the ball at each other in practice, making the spade, watching the ball all the way in, and everything else. And which brings me to my final point, soft hands. Soft hands is a term used to describe your hands when you try and catch a football. If I were to throw a football against a brick and a big pillow, chances are the football is going to bounce 10 times harder off the brick than it will off the pillow. Makes sense. The pillow is soft. So we want to try and mimic our hands to be soft pillows. So when the ball gets to us, instead of it hitting the palm of our hand and just bouncing off, what we want to do is use our soft hands and catch it with our fingertips. So when it gets to us, we have a little cushion. And now we can catch the ball rather than let it hit and drop. All of these little things add up to one singular outcome. And it's a question. Are you going to catch the football? Can you have the mental ability to focus on the ball with your eyes, hold your hands in a spade formation, no matter where the ball is, whether it's here, up high, right? Up high, anywhere. And can he still have soft hands while doing that? That's how we catch a football. We follow these 3 simple steps, we're golden. We'll never drop a pass. Thank you.